Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and for the last several days, I've been driving the 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4xe 1941 edition. Up front is a 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4, as well as a plug-in hybrid system, and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be making this video here today for two distinct reasons. First of all, the 1941 edition is new for 2025. It is only available on the 4xe models, and we'll talk about what goes into that a little bit later on. But the second reason is that I am out here in Southern California at the beautiful Joshua Tree National Park. And so today, we're going to be getting a little bit better scenery than we normally do back home in Chicago. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackprato.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 2.0 liter turbo as well as the hybrid system. Well, this is the standard 4xe system that we see in all the other Wranglers. This isn't special for the 1941. You can plug it into the wall at night to get some EV driving range, and it takes about 15 hours on a regular 110 outlet, but just under 3 hours on a level 2 240. Now that has actually been wonderful, and when you do have a charge, it will switch pretty seamlessly between gas and electric, and that has been a big plus, especially with the gas prices here in Southern California. That has been really nice. In terms of gas, it also takes unleaded, regular 87, as opposed to maybe the V8 that has to take premium. So you're saving at the pump as well. Additionally, as we'll talk about with the end of the video, this has been able to do everything that every other Jeep is able to do, so you don't really lose much by going with the 4xe, and that's fantastic. Like I said, paired to it is an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's been fine, it's doing the job. And last but not least, this is 4-wheel drive with the wheelies. We do get different suspension, as well as we have a rear axle locker that has been very helpful. So how does it feel to drive the 1941 edition of the Willys Wrangler? Well, it's not wonderful. The switch over from gas to electric, I still think, is the best in its class. It's just wonderful, and it's seamless. Driving on the highway, you do have to kind of babysit the front axle because it will wander away. It doesn't have any lane keep assist, and it's just kind of a handful to drive at speeds. Anything above 60 miles an hour, this thing does not like. The ride is harsh, and the wind noise is really loud because of that canvas top. So the driving experience isn't really wonderful, but it is a very capable SUV, and that's what you get. You're gonna sacrifice some highway ability. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me I have a mix of physical and digital gauges. Off to the left is my tachometer, but we also have the digital coolant temperature. In the center is a screen that you can customize and change around. Nothing too new there, but lots of really good information from Jeep, Stellantis, Dodge, whatever you want to call them. They are really good at the information that they give you. And then off to the right, we have fuel and our power percentage. This will basically tell you when the vehicle is charging and using that regenerative braking. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have our selectors for that gauge cluster screen. And off to the right, we have our adaptive cruise control. To the left, we have a climate control vent, headlight switch, and gauge dimmer switch, as well as our gas cap release and our 3 drive mode selects for the power. So we have hybrid, electric, and e-save. Hybrid and electric, pretty standard, but e-save will force it to use the gas engine and save your electric charge, which also means if you get power from regenerative braking, you can start to recharge your battery. I had an hour and 10-minute drive yesterday, and I was able to recharge my battery 46% just by regen. That is very nice. On the door, we have our power mirrors, latching it in and out, and power locks. And moving into the center, we do get these 4 little lights. These will actually light up when the vehicle is charging, so it'll kind of give you an indication of what charge level it's at without having to open up the vehicle. But we have our infotainment display, wireless Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. It's very nice, it's been good, and we do get these off-road pages, which have been really fun. And here's the camera system in case you were curious. Down below, we have 2 climate control vents and the climate controls, physical climate controls, Absolutely love to see this in the Wrangler. We have heated seats and a heated steering wheel. And then down below, we have buttons for like parking sensors, hill descent control, screen off, things like that. But this blue battery button turns on the maximum regen. So when you let off the gas, it will start braking to start to collect that energy to charge the battery. Now you can turn this off and it'll coast like a normal vehicle, or turn this on to coast like an EV where it's going to use that energy. Down below, we have our 12-volt outlet. We have our media for aux, USB-C, and USB-A. We have 4 Windows switches, 4 auxiliary switches, our off-road plus mode, as well as our rear locking differential. In the center, we have our 4-wheel drive settings off to the left for 4 high part-time, neutral, and 4 low. And off to the right, we have our shifter. The first indication in the interior that this is special for the 1941 edition. It gets a 41 on the gear shifter. We do have cup holders, and if you've seen the Big Friggin' Bottle Test short, you would already know that unfortunately it fails the Big Friggin' Bottle Test. We do get a dual opening center console and these light tan seats. Although they are heated, they are still manual, but they are for the 1941 edition. These, again, are a throwback to the World War II Jeep, and that's pretty obvious. However, the color does carry on to the back seats, so let's hop in the back and do a backseat review. All right, so we're in the back of the Wrangler 4xe 1941 edition, and a couple of things to note. Like the other 4xe that I've tested, these back seats are harder than what they would normally be in the regular Wrangler because the battery pack actually sits underneath the seats. It's to raise it up, so when you're going over rough terrain, like we have here today, there's less of a chance of something happening to the battery. It's up and out of the way. We do have a center console with 2 cup holders. We get climate vents down here and our switches for the windows, but that's pretty much it. We do get the nice Alpine sound system right in your face. This is the roll bar, but that's pretty much it. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. Right around the back of the Wrangler 4xe 1941, big handle here, which I really like that there is a lock and unlock button right on the rear door handle as well. Open it like that, and we do get a special little badge here, the JL41 Willys 4xe, and this is actually how they originally packaged the Willys Jeep in the military. They would ship it overseas or wherever it needed to go with 3 of the tires inside, 1 of the tires on the front, and then the GIs would build it once it landed. So here's a little comparison. I don't think that that's actually size accurate to the difference between the original and the new one. Once we are back here, we do get this giant pack. This includes our chargers and things like that. Big Alpine speaker as well, but nothing too crazy. 12-volt outlet, things like that. That's what the rear looks like in the 4xe Wrangler. This door is pretty heavy. Boom, there we go. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and this is the biggest change for the 1941 edition. First of all, this color is just called 41, which is green, but it's a military sage green style. Absolutely love it, and it's special for this trim level. But the biggest takeaway are the wheels. These steel wheels are absolutely delicious. I love them. They're fantastic. They're beefy, they're brawny, and I wish that more Wranglers came on steel wheels. Color matched or not, I think that these look fantastic, but the color matching definitely helps. We also do get that tan manual top, and all you have to do is pull 2 levers up above the sun visors and push it down. That's it, nice and easy. And I like the contrast of the tan with the 41 green. Last but not least, one thing I noticed, now don't quote me here, but I believe that this is the first Wrangler 4xe to not get blue tow hooks. Blue tow hooks normally mean that it is a hybrid. Jeep wants everyone in traffic to know that you have the hybrid, and so they make the tow hooks blue. Well, they actually don't paint them blue here in this hybrid to keep with the color scheme. This also does have the 1941 graphics on the outside, on the hood, which is cool to see nonetheless. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving this 1941 edition of the Jeep Wrangler 4xe? Well, I have 2 distinct, separate feelings. But let's get the downsides out of the way. Driving this on the highway is a handful, and I don't like it. And really driving it on regular roads, it just doesn't handle itself all that well. If you are looking for an SUV that you might take off-road once a year, this is not it. Get a 4Runner, get a Cherokee, get something of that nature. This is an off-road vehicle that you can drive to the office, but I don't personally recommend it. You're gonna have a lot better of a driving experience in other products. That being said, let's talk about the 1941 edition. I flippin' love it. I love this color, I love the color package, and I love that it's fun. It's a fun, different, unique package, and it harkens back to the heritage of Jeep. More brands need to embrace their heritage. Maybe not Volkswagen or Mercedes, but everyone else needs to embrace their heritage. I want throwback vehicles. So I think this is a slam dunk. The fact that it's only available on the 4xe is a little bit disheartening. However, I do have to say that the original Willys military Jeep was a 4-cylinder. This makes more power and more torque than that 4-cylinder ever did, but the original one that won the war was a 4-cylinder, so I can't be too mad at it. I think this package is wonderful. The wheels are great. It's just overall a slam dunk. Well, let's talk about the 4xe. I've spent the last several hundred miles driving it. Here's my end result, by the way, when I turn the Jeep back in. How many miles I did in electric, that's in green. How many miles I did with gas is in tan, and the overall trip. Fuel economy, things like that. Here's just my data. It's really cool that Jeep gives you that. What's it been like to drive the 4xe? This is the longest time I've ever spent with one. I like this thing a lot. Honestly, it's very hard for me to justify the V6 over this setup. Now, of course, price is going to factor into that. The V6 is going to be a lot cheaper, but part for part, price out of the way, this is a better powertrain than the V6. You get that EV driving. Cut to the in-car. I'm driving in all-electric mode. When I get back on the gas, it'll turn back on, but I can drive this in EV. That's great. You could charge it up. I've been charging using someone else's charger, and so I've been getting free 20, 30 miles every morning. Free to me. That green number that I'm showing on the screen now, free mileage. I didn't pay a penny for it. That's a big, big benefit. And this Jeep has been able to do every single task that I've asked it to do. I haven't lost anything. We went off-roading. We went rock crawling. We took it out into the middle of Joshua Tree where there was this sign that said, "Do it at your own risk. This is a tough trail. Don't call mommy." And we did it in this, and it did it flawlessly. It did it fantastically. Whether it was the V8, V6, or the inline-4 plug-in hybrid, it's all good. And so you don't lose a whole lot. Compared to its siblings, the 4xe is absolutely wonderful. All of its siblings are terrible to drive on the highway. That ain't new. My only downsides with this vehicle are downsides for Wranglers abroad. I really, really grew to like this 4xe, and I think that this special edition is just the cherry on top. I am a big fan. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Stellantis for letting me borrow their Jeep for the last couple days to come out here to Joshua Tree and soak up the natural sights, smells, and feelings of this national park. This is a very, very special place. I love the national park system. And if you don't take anything about Jeep away from this video, please, please, please protect our parks. Protect the national park system. It's one of the best things this country has ever done. Just absolutely splendid. What an amazing piece of history and one of the most American cars ever made. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.